radar. All the island's remaining aircraft were scrambled. When the enemy arrived, the runways and hangars would be clear. Midway's fighters would be waiting to meet them, and the island's force of bombers and torpedo bombers would already be on their way to strike back at the Japanese carriers. In spite of the valiant efforts of Midway's mostly obsolete fighters, the Japanese bombers and dive bombers broke through without having lost a single aircraft. A single enemy carrier was sighted. On Midway Island and on the ships of the American task forces, the effect was electrifying. The Japanese were exactly where Admiral Nimitz had expected them to be. Shortly after the first sighting, one more vital piece of information was received from the Catalinas. A wave of strike aircraft was approaching the island. Admiral Nagumo turned his carriers into the wind and launched his first strike wave, 108 aircraft in all. The rest, including his most experienced aircrew, were held in reserve in case any American warships were discovered. Nagumo believed the possibility extremely remote, so only after his first wave had been sent to Midway did he order his reconnaissance aircraft to begin their search of the surrounding ocean. Long-range hitting power of American aircraft carriers.
Jim Manning was manning the turret gunner. Manning called over the intercom and said, "We're being attacked by Japanese fighter planes." And he started firing the 50 caliber. He made a couple of firing bursts, and then I didn't hear any firing. I looked over my shoulder. I was down on my knees, and I could see the turret had stowed, and that Jim was hanging just in the harness. He was obviously dead at that point.
I didn't hear my turret gun firing anymore.
And then the next thing that I do remember was hanging down and coming to, and it almost felt like a hole in my head, and there's the bullet hole in the cap where I'd been hit on the head.
Ray called me up and said he was okay, and I said, "How about Manning?" He said, "He's dead."
We went from Pearl Harbor to Midway, and that's where we had the majority of our action was there. Of course, I was young then, and you don't think about a lot of things. Like I'm 92 now.